It probably. There we go. Sometimes my fingers don't work too good here trying to start the video thing. As you can see, this is across the road from our house in San Francisco. Once the traffic gets by here, they're actually building a college on a very large, probably 2 to 3 hectare lot across the road. So I'm going to kind of walk in that direction. And that it is the reason that when this property became available for our house, where our house is at, that I knew I wanted it. As I pan along here slowly, you can see all this property and maybe even catch the concrete fence to the rear here, but they're going to be putting up apartments here also for the college and that, and so a prime location for our house. And that's why when the land became available, that we decided to purchase it and put our house right on the main road here, knowing of what was going to be going on kind of across the road here. So I'm going to walk across here and kind of pan down and that, and you can kind of get a better view now of the property across the road. And I guess starting next year they're going to start putting apartments in, and of course our house is right there next to a chapel, small chapel, and the house that we put up some years ago here, and that give you an idea. And that it's only about 330 or 350 square meters and that, but like I said, the big reason was the prime location on the main route here, and to be able to put in a SARI store and that, and also at the time her sister Lynn was living here and built a small place for them here. As I pan back across here, and that you can see, like I said, what a nice piece of property this is. And then pan across the road here back to where they're going to be putting in here and building some apartments. So the location here, back in here where I'm pointing the camera at now, is where our old house was that we sold to an Australian. And that it was off the road and kind of cornered in back there. And when this land became available, we decided to sell that house, so we were able to actually purchase the property and do building here. And again, get a look at the property here, and it's worked out real good for us and that. And now NN, who Beth's sister, who she lived with in Cebu for quite a while they were both working there, and that boyfriend from Australia, have decided that they're going to purchase the house and the property here. So kind of all in the family and that, but it's wound up to be a very good decision all the way around to be able to do this and that. And continuing to work on the property here as we walk down the fence line in SARI store, and kind of get up underneath and here get a better view of the house and that. And one of the things I decided to do when I put the house, I put a half floor in, as you've probably seen in a video that Beth has done, and that, so that we could have a spare room or a spare bedroom, kind of a half floor upstairs. The other thing I decided to do, because the climate here is so good and it's a tropical climate, is to build a super huge porch, which is probably about a third to half of the floor area of the house. And to be able to cover that, just because you spend, gosh, 80% of your time outside and that. and living in a climate like this where all you need is really basic protection from the rain or thunderstorms and that, to be able to sit outside and that on a porch. And I've recommended any expat that comes here to definitely build yourself a place to get out of the rain house and that, but boy, put a big porch or something on there that you're able to enjoy the weather here, but yet out of the direct heat of the sun, because that can be really tough on you. A little bit better view of the house here. And of course all the flowers up front. In the back here you can see here that, yeah, it's kind of a small lot, but very functional. And so that's kind of my walk around the outside of the house here to kind of give you an idea of what we've done here. And like I said, soon enough, with our neighbors there, the main road here in San Francisco, the college that's going to be going up across the road here, and then panning through that huge lot here, and where they're going to be putting apartments, and that probably no doubt for the students here, and a good, probably a really good money making deal for whoever owns this. I'm not sure and that, but prime location, and that's kind of what you want to look for here. Anybody that's thinking of buying property here, especially if you're buying in town, to think about your location before you purchase. And like I said, we've learned some lessons and made some mistakes, but in the end we've done really well. So I'm going to say goodbye for now and let Beth take over. I thought, like I said, a little bit deeper explanation of actually what we were doing here over the course of the last, oh boy, basically 6 years, and that as 6-7 years, because we bought this while we just had purchased our farm out there, which was a bare piece of property at the time. So, and a long, slow process to do the building and to reach what I call kind of a quality living here in the Philippines. So appreciate you listening to me and watching Beth's videos, and I'm sure she'll be back with you shortly.